Okay, I'm gonna start off this video with a disclaimer. I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice, and you should seek counsel to create your contracts so that you know you are fully protected. Now that that's out of the way, I will say I may not be a lawyer, but I've had my fair share of contracts. Having worked as both a freelance copywriter and an agency owner, I live by my contract. Everything goes in a contract and everyone gets one. I don't care how long we've been friends. I don't care how small the project is. Every single client gets a contract. I'm like the Oprah Winfrey of contracts. You get a contract, you get a contract, you get a contract. So today we're going to look at some of the most significant things that need to go in your freelance copywriting contract. And this is by no means exhaustive, but these are definitely things that you need to have in place. And if you want to grab the contract that I personally use, you can get that in the link in the description box. And before we get started, my name's Liz. I'm a copywriter, content writer, and owner of an award-winning copywriting agency. And around here, you're going to find tools, courses, tips, tricks, and resources to help you launch, grow, and scale your copywriting business. And here we go. Number one, the scope of work to be completed. Your freelance copywriting contract should include all of the details of the project, including purpose, length of time the work will take to be completed, and the parameters surrounding the work you will be doing. For example, if you'll be producing email copy for campaigns, list this in your scope of work. This protects you in case your client decides to shift that scope of work mid-project, such as deciding that they'd rather have you write social captions instead, when you didn't agree to do so. If your client wants additional work or work outside of that original scope, you can create another contract if you choose to accept the new project scope. Number two, deliverables. The deliverables listed in your copywriting contract should detail exactly what you will be producing for your clients. For example, if you have a client that hires you to write a nurture sequence, your contract should say so. If your client is hiring you to write a nurture sequence and upload it into their email service provider, put it in your contract. All work that needs completed needs to be in writing. Number three, the timeline for the deliverables. And this is going to save you loads of headache. Putting the delivery date for the deliverables in your contract is crucial. This will protect you from scope creepers who want to push up their deadline, and this happens a lot more often than you'd think. If you want to include language about a rush fee for shortening the deadline, have your legal counsel add that clause. Number four, rates and pricing. One of the best parts about being a freelance copywriter is that you set your rates. Keep yourself protected by putting your rates in writing, whether it's per hour, per project, or something else. If you're charging per hour, include how these hours will be tracked and when your client can expect you to submit these hours. 5, payment schedule and any penalties. When do you want to get paid? Do you want payment to come through before you deliver the completed work? Do you want to offer net 30 terms? Or do you want everything up front? Hey, you're the boss at your freelance copywriting business, so you set those terms. 6, cancellation terms. So you stop taking clients because your calendar was full, but you have a client that wants to cancel the project. When a client cancels a project, this obviously affects you financially. After all, you could have saved that slot for a client that was ready to move forward on a project. Having cancellation terms ensures that you are still compensated and protects you from losing your income because a client put the brakes on a project. Just in case, I'm gonna say this again, I'm not an attorney, this is not legal advice, and having a lawyer draw up your copywriting contracts is totally worth the investment to make sure that you are completely protected. Number 7, equipment expenses. Maybe your client wants you to travel on site. Maybe they want you to use costly software to complete the project. Whatever the expense is, ask your attorney to include a clause that obligates the client to foot that expense because it's their project expenses, not yours. Number 8, copyright and ownership. This clause determines who the work belongs to once the work is paid for. This means that you can't sell the work to anyone else and that ownership belongs to your client once the payment is made. And this is super important. Ask your attorney about including language in your contract that allows you to use completed works in your portfolio. This can vary from client to client, as many will not want you to advertise their completed work with their company name on it. Number 9, attributions. Many copywriters only want to work with clients when their name is going to be on the published work, instead of working as a ghostwriter, which means you're writing as somebody else. If this is the case, have your attorney draft up language that requires the client to attribute the works to you. Keep in mind that many clients are going to disagree with this. I'd even go so far as to say that most businesses would prefer a ghostwriting situation for numerous reasons. And number 10, permission to disclose partnership. If you want to include your client's logo on your website and advertise that partnership, put it in your contract. Just like using completed works in your portfolio, some clients don't like to disclose their copywriting partnerships. This is particularly true in the case of personal brands who don't want people to know that they hired someone out to be their voice when they're trying to make that genuine connection with their audience. This is also true for large corporations who want to keep those secret weapons secret. So don't forget contracts every time. As a freelance copywriter, your contract solidifies your scope of work, the payment agreement, the timeline, and any other parameters that you set for the duration of the relationship. No matter how long you've been working with someone, no matter your previous relationship, and no matter how small or large the project, you need to work under a copywriting contract every single time. And trust me, your future self will thank you. And if you liked what you saw here today, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss a video. And I will catch you next time.